Good afternoon, class. Hope you all are fine. Today we will discuss the last worksheet which I have given. That is from your book. The activity was there that was given, so that we will discuss, and then we will be doing some calculation of molecular mass and all. But before that, once again, I want to tell you regarding the project. Okay, in few of you have already done the project. You have completed the project and you have sent it to me through email, but no need to do that now. Okay, because already I have extended your project submission date, and this will be whenever you have to submit that, or how we will you will be submitting that I will let you know. So don't send it before that. Okay, and one thing I want to tell you, submission date, now you just do that submission date when you have to submit. That afterwards I will be telling, because you are going to get lot of time for that. Okay, and that is one. Another thing, which you have the few projects which you have which you have sent to me. In that I want to tell you something, that in between two two elements, I told you to do 20 elements in that manner. So if in a single chart paper, if it's not fitting properly, because you have to give sufficient gaps between two elements. Okay, because otherwise it will not look good and you cannot understand it properly. So the letter should be big so that it is easily visible from a distance, and a gap, sufficient gap must be there between two lines. Okay, between two elements. Suppose just see, like hydrogen and all the things I'm not writing. Suppose just for an example I'm telling this. Hydrogen, so its electronic configuration will be 1, K is equal to 1. This is okay, and H plus will be the radical, and its valency here in between these two you have to write. So suppose here I am writing the valency 1, and next element is helium. Okay, so just after finishing hydrogen you must draw a line. Okay, so that clearly we can understand that these two will be in two separate spaces in this manner. Okay, so easily we can understand, or there will be no confusion for those parts also. Okay, so if you can, if you want, you can draw lines here also, and as per I told you in that manner only. Okay, I think in the video which I shared, and regarding this project, there I have done in this manner. Okay, so for each and every part you have to draw a line. You must there will be a box kind of, so that these things will be separated in this manner. Okay, and easily it will not mix with, suppose helium's electronic configuration may mix with some other element and all. So this shouldn't be there. This shouldn't happen, and for that better you draw a line for in this manner. Okay, so this few changes you have to do, those who have done already in that manner, so that it should be, as you are having lot of time. Submission date is afterwards I will be telling the submission date. That means almost this whole month you are getting. Okay, maybe just before September and all you have to submit that. So you are having lot of time, so do it nicely, and you can use colorful colors also. Okay, that means colorful pencils and all you can use, so that it will be more attractive. Okay, so in this manner nicely you do the project. Don't hurry. Okay, and do it nicely, and check this, you just this mistakes shouldn't be done in this manner. Okay, so do it nicely. Hope now it's clear. And if again you are having any query and all, till you are having any query, you can as you are doing all through email, you can ask that. Okay, so this is all for project. Now let's move on to the topic which we are going to discuss today. That is, first of all, we will be solving activity 2. Okay, activity 2. So here we have to write molecular formula. It is there in page number 59 of your book. Okay, page number 59, it's there. So here we have to write the molecular formulas. So first one was copper oxide. So copper oxide is CuO. Okay, we know copper is, this copper oxide can be of two types. So here it's not mentioned in that manner. Copper may have +1 state as well as +2 state. So cupric oxide and cuprous oxide both are there. So if we write copper 1 oxide, that means, or this is cuprous oxide. Okay, as this is the lowest valency, we can say. So okay, cuprous oxide, so it will be copper's valency is 1 here and oxygen's valency it's 2 only. So this 2 will go to copper and oxygen's and oxygen we will be writing in this manner. So copper's valency, that is 1, that will go to oxygen here 1, so we are not writing anything, and oxygen's valency, that is 2, that will go to copper. So the formula of this cuprous oxide will be, or copper 1 oxide will be Cu2O. So both in this manner also we can write copper 1 oxide or cuprous oxide also we can write. So both are correct. Next, one more is there, that is copper 2 oxide. Here copper is showing its +2 valency. Copper 2 plus ion will be there. So here copper is showing its 2 valency, that is cupric oxide. Okay, so here copper's valency is 2 and oxygen's valency is 2, so this will be Cu2O2. okay, and we know that we don't write this, we have to take the least value, so this will be only CuO. So this is cupric oxide. So this is cuprous oxide and this is cupric oxide. Next, iron 3 chloride number 2. Iron 3 chloride. Okay, this is called ferric chloride also. Okay, as we know, iron can show both +2 valency and +3 valency, and here in this compound iron 3 chloride or ferric chloride, iron is using its +3 valency. Okay, so this will be we know valency of chlorine is, chloride ion is 1, and valency of iron here it's 3. So chlorine's 1 will go to iron. That means we can at first, so that you can understand well, I'm writing this 1 here. So Fe, chlorine's valency, that is 1, that will go to iron. So we are writing Fe1, and iron's valency, that is 3, that will go to chloride. So we are writing 3 with chlorine. Okay, so FeCl3. 1 we don't write. You know that these are the rules. So FeCl3 will be the formula of ferric chloride or iron 3 chloride. Iron can show +2 valency as well. So if we take that iron 2 chloride, this is called also ferrous chloride. Arsenic. So this is ferrous chloride. Here iron is using its 2 valency, so which will go to chlorine. So FeCl2. Okay, so FeCl2. This is the formula of ferric chloride. This is the formula of ferrous chloride or iron 2 chloride. Okay, next sodium hydroxide. This already we have discussed. Number 3, sodium hydroxide. Okay, so this is NaOH. As sodium's valency is 1, which is going to hydroxide ion, hydroxyl group. So there are no need of giving the bracket for OH. Okay, so simply we will be writing NaOH. This is the formula of sodium hydroxide. Next, iron 2 sulfide. Number 4, iron 2 sulfide. Here iron is using its 2 valency, +2 valency, and sulfide's valency is also 2. So FeS. Okay, FeS, iron 2 sulfide. Sulfur's valency is 2, that will go to iron, and iron's valency is 2, that will go to sulfur. So as both are same, so we are not writing anything. So simply FeS will be the formula. Next, number 5, lead 2 oxide. Lead 2 oxide. PbO. Lead's valency is 2 and oxygen's valency we know this is also 2. So PbO. Next, hydrogen nitrate. This already we have done. Hydrogen nitrate. Or this is called nitric acid also. So HNO3. Hydrogen's valency is 1 and nitrate's valency is also 1. So HNO3. Next, number 7, hydrogen sulfate, or this is called sulfuric acid. So sulfate is SO4 2 minus. That means sulfate's valency is 2 and hydrogen's valency is 1. So sulfate's valency will go to hydrogen and hydrogen's valency, that is 1, that will go to sulfate. That means with whole sulfate, SO4 whole 1. So as we know that 1 and all this we don't write, so no need to give the bracket as well. H2SO4. Okay, this is the formula of sulfuric acid. Next, number 8, calcium hydroxide. Calcium is 2 plus and hydroxide we know this is 1. So hydroxides 1 will go to calcium and calcium's 2 will go to hydroxide. That means with this whole OH. Okay, so calcium hydroxide. Don't write it here. Again I am telling a common mistake which you all do, that is you write it in this manner, CaOH whole 2, CaOH 2 in this manner. Okay, you don't forget to give this bracket, but this is totally wrong. Okay, this is totally wrong. So don't repeat this mistake ever. This is the correct one and this is wrong. Okay, as this valency of calcium will go with whole of this hydroxide, and hydroxide means OH both. Okay, so with this whole we have to give the bracket 2. We have to show the valency 2. Okay, so we must give the bracket here. So this is the correct formula and this is the wrong form of it. Next, magnesium carbonate, number 9. Magnesium carbonate. Magnesium is Mg, its valency is 2, Mg2 plus, and it will form, and carbonate is CO3 2 minus. So both are 2. So simply MgCO3 will be the formula, magnesium carbonate. Next, ammonium carbonate. Ammonium carbonate. Ammonium is NH4 plus. Okay, NH4 plus, that means its valency is 1 and carbonate's valency is 2, we know. So carbonate's valency will go to whole of this ammonium, that means 2. So NH4 whole 2, which is this 2 is the valency of carbonate. So this will go with ammonium, and ammonium's valency, that is 1, that will go with whole of this carbonate CO3 group. Okay, so as this is 1, so we are not writing anything. So this will be the formula of ammonium carbonate, NH4 whole 2 CO3. Okay, so here you can understand, you have seen that you have seen that if we understand the how this formulas are being constructed, and what is the main thing here, or what is the rule here, then it's very easy to construct the formulas new. If you don't know the formulas, if you have not read it before, but you know the valency of that particular elements which has been used in the formula and all, then easily you can construct any formula. So that should be our motto, that should be our goal, to get the thing in that manner, so that if anything can come in exam, so maybe you are not it's not there in the book, but you have to do that. Okay, this is the thing. And for that you must know the valency of all the radicals, and all the positive and negative radicals. Okay, then it's not tough at all. Now we are going to learn the significance of molecular formula, what informations we can get from molecular formula or chemical formula. Molecular formula and chemical formula both are same only. So significance of molecular formula. So first of all, suppose H2SO4. If this formula has been given, then what informations we can get from the formula? So first of all, we will get to know the name of the compound. So first of all, name of the compound. Name of the compound we can get, we can understand which compound has been given to us. From the formula we can get the name of the compound. So this is the first one. Next, name of the elements. So from the formula we can understand which elements are there present in the compound. So name of the constituent elements present in the compound. So this also we can get from the molecular formula. Name of the constituent elements present in the compound. So here we from the formula of sulfuric acid, first of all we are getting the name, that is sulfuric acid. Then we can understand that in sulfuric acid, hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen, these three elements are present. Okay, next, the number of each and every element we can get from the molecular formula. So next, number of each element present. Okay, number of each element present in the compound we can understand, we can get from the molecular formula. That means here 2 hydrogen. As an example, for sulfuric acid we can say that 2 hydrogen, 1 sulfur and 4 oxygen atoms are present here. Okay, in one molecule of sulfuric acid there are 2 hydrogen, 1 sulfur and 4 oxygen atoms are present. So this we can get from the molecular formula. One more thing we can get, that is, if we know the mass of each element, mass of each atom present, then we can calculate the total mass or molecular mass of the compound. Like for hydrogen, for sulfuric acid, we know mass of, so fourth significance, mass of or molecular mass of the compound. Also can be calculated from the molecular formula. So for sulfuric acid, as hydrogen's mass is 2, hydrogen's mass is 1, each hydrogen atom's mass is 1, and there are 2 hydrogen atom, so that can be calculated. Sulfur's sulfur's atomic mass we know, that is 32, and oxygen's molecular mass we know, that is 16. So if these things are there, if we know this atomic masses of the elements present, then from that we can calculate the molecular mass of the compound. Okay, so these are the significance of molecular formula. Now how we can calculate the molecular mass of the compound, that we will be discussing in our next class. Okay, in our next class we will discuss that. So our today's class I am ending here only. You learn these things, you read, as I told you before, you have to read the book thoroughly. It's not that only objective questions will come in the exam, maybe in unit test you have got that, because of this, you know, so many barriers are there now. Things are not normal, that's why we have taken in that manner, we have given the questions in that manner, but it's not that every time you will be getting in that manner only. The questions will be objective only, it's not that. So you have to prepare for every situation. So for that you have to read the book thoroughly, line by line. This is very very important. Okay, and if you do that, you can do the exercise of your own without any help. So this is very important, this we have to do. So in that manner you keep on studying, and this is all for today, students. Have a good day. Thank you.